Konnichiwa minasan, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Reina Scully coming to you from Japan. So I haven't done a Q&A video, nor have I done any update videos in a long time where I could be a little bit more off the cuff and real with you. So I thought this would be a good time and opportunity to do so. Before we begin, I would like to thank everybody who participated. There were a good amount of questions and I wasn't able to sift through all of them, but I will try to answer as many as possible without the video going over like 20 minutes or so. Actually, I don't know how long this video is possibly going to be. I tend to ramble, so. All right, without further ado, let's begin. The first question is from Hot Toddy Cartoon Queer, or Hot to Die Cartoon Queer, not sure which one it is. There's a norm in Japan for wearing masks, and because there are many reasons, it is never taken as a personal offense to see someone wearing one. Do you have any advice for Americans who aren't used to wearing one for the safety of others? Wow, we are going to hit the ground running. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have advice, especially because every American that has chosen to not wear a mask and to feel oppressed by it has already made their decision and probably refuses to believe any like medical or logical reasoning behind wearing a mask to protect others. You kind of hit the nail on the head by saying that there's already a norm here in Japan with everybody wearing masks if you're ever sick or even if you have allergies. So we're kind of coming from different places. We would never feel oppressed for having to wear a mask or anything like that. It is uncomfortable during the summer, but in order to protect others and ourselves and our loved ones from illness and to keep ourselves healthy, it's not really strange or hard for us to just be wearing a mask. It really shouldn't be hard for anybody. This isn't really advice, it's more like personal opinion, but having that initial hoaxy article go out saying that masks are not helpful in combating or protecting you from the virus was extremely detrimental, and it's very difficult to turn that around and now reconvince people that it is useful. It's also not helpful that US leaders are split on this decision. Some people are campaigning against masks, which is insane. I honestly feel like if all US leaders uniformly wore a mask in public and told everybody that it would be for the safety of others, that would probably have been very, very helpful and maybe helped kind of redirect everybody from the misinformation. But yeah, it's tough. I'm super sorry. I don't really have advice in how to convince people if they already don't want to wear a mask when you're telling them that it's for the safety of others. Kind of lost cause. That got so dark. This next one is from Nilo Fox, or Nilo Fox. I can't read. How have you passed the time in this quarantine? Okay, so I've been doing a couple different things. I've been working out, I've been teaching myself how to cook, but mostly I've been watching a lot of older shows. I'm trying to like get my nostalgia kick so that I can be brought back to that time, a better time. Let's see. Okay, so this is really embarrassing, but I've been watching a lot of Charmed, and it's really, really dorky, but it reminds me of when I was a lot younger, and I like that a lot. So it's been a lot of fun. I've also been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender and How I Met Your Mother with my husband, and we were watching that when we were in college, like my most favorite time of my life. So it's like really helping me feel like I'm back in those days. We also watched Snowpiercer, which was very, very good. I had a lot of questions and maybe some issues with it, but overall it was very fun and entertaining. It was like a world I couldn't imagine, so it was extremely creative, in my opinion. What else? We play a lot of video games, mostly Smash. We've also been doing a lot of jigsaw puzzles. That's been passing the time really well. And it goes well with watching those older TV shows. And the next question is from E. Brigham88. Did you ever watch Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps? If so, did you have a favorite character or episode? Yep, I'm that kind of random. Also, you be awesome. Thank you. I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark. I don't remember watching or reading any Goosebumps, but I was obsessed with Are You Afraid of the Dark. I wanted to be a part of the Midnight Society so badly. Okay, I have a couple favorite episodes, or like a couple that stand out in my mind. The one that I always initially remember is the one where the boy gets stuck in the pinball game / mall. Love that episode. Another one that always comes to mind is the one with Zeebo the clown. So I love being scared and I hate clowns because they kind of scare me. So I have this kind of like masochistic love for watching stuff that freaks me out. I'm really afraid of traveling circuses. Actually, I guess it was more like a traveling carnival. I just didn't like that there was a clown in it. And the boy, I think, gets stuck inside of like the fun house with all the mirrors and stuff. That was always scary to me. I loved it. And last but not least, this might actually be my most favorite Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, but it's the one where the girl goes to this summer house. I think it's like her grandparents or her aunts or uncles or something like that. And they have this neighbor that she's really good friends with, like a girl about her age. And then one year she goes there and they said that like they moved away or whatever, and she was really sad about it. The main girl was sad about it. And then she went to the house just to see what it was like or whatever. I actually don't know the reason why you'd break into an empty house, but she does. And then through the attic or something, it warps her into the dollhouse. That's an exact replica of the house. And she's stuck in the dollhouse. And then she discovers that her friend has been stuck in the dollhouse and she's like slowly turning into this doll. It's so freaky. I love it so much. I just realized I like all the ones where people get stuck places. What? Weird. Thank you so much for that question. I love Are You Afraid of the Dark, and now I'm thinking about all the other episodes and it's like so much fun. And this next question is from Nerd Penguin. What's something that's made you the happiest lately? I hope you're staying dry and keeping safe. Thank you so much. It is storming outside, so I'm dry and safe indoors. Man, what has made me happiest lately? To be totally honest, July has proven to be a very difficult month this year. I actually have not been very happy. A lot of things have been keeping me down. However, oh, you know what? I took up golf. So my dad loves golf and he's been doing it for a very long time. And he recently took me to a driving range and he taught me how to do it. And it's pretty cool because the driving range is very open air and it's really easy to socially distance. So it felt very safe and I had a lot of fun. Again, my dad's a good golfing instructor / teacher, so I was able to pick it up pretty well, and it's very satisfying to hit the ball just right. There's like a really nice kind of noise it makes. So yeah, that's been fun. That's been probably my highlight. And this next question is from Lord of Kush 1080p. Do you think Japan will be ready for any kind of tourism next year? I really want to go, but I keep hearing the government dropping the ball and making things worse. You are not wrong at all, unfortunately. Oh man, I honestly do not know if Japan will be ready for tourism next year, which is dicey to say because we're trying to hold the Olympics next year. But Japan has currently banned 146 countries and territories from entering Japan. And supposedly we have the highest active alert for international travel. I sadly think tourism is going to be super, super difficult without a vaccine, or else you're going to have to go through really intense measures like a 14-day quarantine. If you're coming here to travel, you can't just sit in a hotel room for 14 days. First of all, that'll be extremely expensive and that'll be such a waste of time. So I feel like it's kind of illogical to travel under those circumstances. So yeah, probably not going to fully open until we have a vaccine, or it won't be worth it until we have a vaccine. And the next one is from Luis. What's your favorite SourceFed or SourceFed nerd memory? Those channels were the bomb and I still miss them to this day. I miss them every day, all day. Let's see. In general, I miss Table Talk and our podcasts because that kind of became second nature to all of us, I think, and it was really fun sharing bizarre stories with each other. It was like a really good opportunity to be doing that. But to be honest, all of my source-fed memories are like completely overtaken by Suptic and SPF. So specific videos that I really miss would probably be our Naked and Afraid video, which is actually, I think, on SourceFed or maybe SourceFed Nerd. But yeah, the Naked and Afraid video was great. It was very difficult filming it, but now looking back, I'm really, really glad we did it. It's so much fun to watch. Okay, but I have a bunch of favorite SPF videos that I will never get over because they were so much fun. My absolute favorite video is Self-Defense for Dummies. So good. And my second favorite is probably What Can Reina Reach? The shark cage video stands out in my mind because it was an experience and then some. I also really loved our GTA series. Obviously, WTF Japan was like the best thing I ever created in my life. Unfortunately, let's see, what else? I really loved SourceFed Sims. Oh my god, it was so much fun building each character. What did we call it? SourceFed Chub Club? Why? Oh yeah, because the house was shaped like a little penis. But yeah, really miss all those channels. This next one is from Lilybeth87. What are your top 4 things you love most about Japan? How about top 4 favorite Pokemon? Any generation. Ooh, okay. Top 4 favorite things about Japan. Okay. My family is here. This is my hometown. I was born here. So that has to be like the number 1 best thing about Japan for me personally. The second thing would be, this is a little weird, but our water. We live very, very close to Mount Fuji. So we actually get fresh spring water that is volcano Mount Fuji runoff water. And it is the coldest, freshest, clearest, best water on this planet. It tastes so good. You can't drink any other water after drinking Mishima water. So yeah, that's probably number 2. And then I'd have to say probably Japan's hygiene. Everyone is so clean here, and even public restrooms are clean. I also, oh my god, onsen. I forgot about onsen. Hot springs. Hot springs are my favorite. Maybe that's like number 2. I'm not sure. Ooh, actually, I also really like our public transportation. It's perfect. Like, it comes on the second. How crazy is that? And it's never wrong. I mean, like, sometimes they're late depending on weather or like earthquakes or whatever, but in general, they're perfect. I don't know. That's like 5 things though. Is top 5 okay? All right. And now my top 4 favorite Pokemon. This is not easy either. Bulbasaur is number 1. I'd have to say Pikachu is number 2. Raichu is number 3. Raichu and Pikachu tend to kind of switch places, but I think I'm more into Pikachu now. And then, man, this is hard. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Dragonair, like obsessed. So, but then again, I also really love Ampharos. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. Top 5 for both things. I can't choose between Dragonair and Ampharos. This next one is from Heather and Jay. Are you and Will still friends? Yeah, we actually talk literally every day, and we're on a Zoom call with each other at least once a week. We're working on a secret project together. But yeah, Will and I are really, really good friends. I'd even say he's like among my best friends. And this next one is from escuevas 1811. Outside of the whole pandemic issue, do you ever miss living in the US? Yes, I do. I really, really do. Don't get me wrong. I love living in Japan. I love being around my family, all those like top 5 things I've listed before. But I do miss the US. Even though Japanese is my first language, I have a far stronger command of English. And if I were to have difficult conversations or have to argue anything, I would much prefer doing it in English. So on that comfort level, I miss the US. I also obviously miss my in-laws and my friends. You know, my husband and I grew up together, so all of our friends are the same in the East Coast, and then I miss all my friends in LA as well. I miss the food. I'm actually thinking of doing a top 100 things I miss about the US video, so I don't want to reveal too much. I'm still compiling that list, so let me know in the comments if you're interested in that video. This next one is from Blue Phoenix. What is your favorite city slash prefecture slash area in all of Japan and why? I'm biased, but it would have to be my hometown of Mishima, Shizuoka, again, because of the incredible spring water, but also because of our amazing rivers and lakes, and therefore our greenery. Our greenery is so beautiful. I also think I really like country living in comparison to city living. It's so quiet and it's so peaceful. This next one is from David Cabrera. Best mall in Bergen County. Garden State Plaza, without a doubt, right? Everyone thinks that, right? Although I do like old Garden State Plaza, like before it became huge and beautiful and luxe. Like I'm talking early to mid 2000s Garden State Plaza. I remember my high school friends and I would all just go out there and hang out for like the whole day, every day. We were such mall rats. And this next one is from King Rasid. I can't read. I want to learn Japanese. How do I learn and what sources? So I actually really do like Rosetta Stone, especially if you're a beginner and you don't know where to start. I think learning a language is really hard without being on a very strict schedule, and Rosetta Stone keeps you on that schedule and it keeps building on the previous lesson. So it's really good for anybody just starting out, but once you advance, I recommend the Genki textbooks. They have really good explanations for grammar. So the idea of like acquiring Japanese would be to first familiarize yourself with how it sounds, how it's used, try to like immerse yourself in it by watching a lot of like anime or Japanese TV shows, and then move into the difficult like grammar and syntax of it all, which would be the Genki textbooks. And this next one is from Joffrey 1988. Will you purchase the new Pokemon Snap when it releases? Yes, absolutely. I've been waiting for Pokemon Snap forever. I feel like Nintendo really missed the mark by not having a new Pokemon Snap for the Wii U, considering it was like straight up a camera, and they also had Fatal Frame, which wasn't that great, but like it kind of used the same concept, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I cannot wait for the new Pokemon Snap. It looks so freaking good. And this next one is from The Bloody Mutant. My question, an update on how it's been living in Japan. My boyfriend and I are really considering moving from NYC to Japan. Love you. Okay, I am very much loving living in Japan, even with all its difficulties, but again, as I said before, I'm extremely biased because my whole family is here, and I'm Japanese and I speak Japanese, so I don't find it really difficult to be here. However, it is not exactly easy, especially if you don't have a job here that's offering you a visa to come. It's very difficult to be a permanent resident here without a spouse. It is very difficult to have an extended visa that allows you to stay here. So unless you have a job secured here in this country already, I wouldn't recommend it. I also think you should probably visit here with your boyfriend for a prolonged amount of time to see if you really want to do it. Japan is very bureaucratic and they're still very analog. So a lot of things you physically have to go to, like City Hall, for example, and fill out paperwork by hand, and you can't do it over the internet. It's so bizarre because you'd think Japan is so like technologically advanced or whatever, but they're not in that way. They really care about like being front facing with you and having you there in person and having you physically sign stuff. So I would suggest like practicing a little bit by being here for the 3 months that you're allowed to on a traveling visa, and then see if you still want to move here. And this next one is from Icy Virus XP. Do you like metal? If so, what are your favorite bands? I do like metal. We used to listen to a lot. So my favorite band of all time, hands down, is System of a Down. And then let's see, I obviously love Metallica. I love their older stuff, but I really, really loved Death Magnetic in 2008. I think I was just shocked that they came out with a new album and it was so good. Avenged Sevenfold is good. Honorable mention has to go to Bullet for My Valentine, even though it's very embarrassing. Let's see. Dragon Force was also something we listened to. Oh man, I can't remember a bunch of them. Pantera, I guess? Slipknot, Korn. I listened to a lot of metal. I think I was going through like a phase, but I still love System and Metallica. Favorites. And next is from 52 Max. What is the best thing about living in Japan? And if you could move anywhere else in the world, where would you want to live? The best thing about living in Japan, I guess, would go back to like the top 4 or 5 favorite things I love about Japan. So, oh, you know what? I found another thing I love about Japan. They care so much about their food and they are so careful about food and serving food. So I think that goes back to the hygiene aspect of it a little bit. Even fast food here is so freaking delicious. And like convenience store food, konbini food, like 7-Eleven, Lawson, Ministop, everything is so delicious. It's out of control. And if I were to live in another country, maybe Canada. I don't know. I like the idea of being close to the US. Oh, but I don't like the snow. That wouldn't work well, would it? I don't know. This next question is from Mrs. Quinlin. What is your favorite dish to cook at home? Will you do a video on making it? I don't know if I do cooking videos because I find it very difficult to shoot in my kitchen. But my favorite thing to cook at home is probably pad thai. I love Thai food and I really miss it. And there's like no Thai food around me here. So I learned how to cook a bunch of Thai food at home and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with pad thai. So I've been making that a lot. This next question is from Solo Jorge. Where do you feel more at home, in the USA or in Japan? That is an excellent question. So in Japan, my whole family is here, and that accounts for a lot of feeling at home. I love being around my mom. I love being able to hang out with my dad whenever I want to. That's something that I never had growing up, so it's a really big deal to me. I love being around my grandparents and my cousin and her children. But I have to say, I think I am, in general, more comfortable in the US. So I feel like I have to be very proper here in Japan. Whereas back in the day when I was in the US, I felt a lot more free to speak my mind, to wear whatever I wanted without feeling judged or stared at. But maybe it's because I live in the country here in Japan, but I'm stared at all the time and it is not a great feeling. Man, this is a hard question. Like, what makes home home? You know what? I think I have to say Japan for now, but tough question. This next one is from SickBasic. Will there be more Mecha Ude coming out? I really loved the pilot. Thank you. Aw, thank you. Okay, so I can't talk too much about it, but they are definitely still working on it. It is not easy to make anime here in Japan, and more so, things have been very difficult and slow because of the coronavirus, and not a lot of priority is being put into making anime. So that's been a little bit difficult. You know what? I don't know if I could talk more about it, to be honest. So let's just leave it at that. It is not a dead project whatsoever. It is still actively being worked on by a lot of different parties in a lot of different positions. So don't lose hope. And this next one is from Alder Marcel. Been struggling with staying focused while working from home. Any tips? Oh man, I think we're all having a lot of trouble focusing from home. Let's see. Something that I like to do when I have to focus and concentrate for a really long time is listen to classical music, like Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, Chopin. What else do I do to concentrate? I guess it would be to stay on a schedule as best you can. Like, go to sleep at the same time every night, try to sleep for at least 8 hours, and wake up relatively early in the morning. And this next one is from Davis047, tips on keeping sane during quarantine. So my answer would be very similar to what we just talked about keeping focused during quarantine or working from home. And it would simply be to keep yourself on a pretty strict schedule. So wake up in the morning pretty early, change out of your pajamas and into your day clothes, have breakfast, a healthy, good breakfast, and then have lunch and dinner at reasonable times, shower and bathe, exercise if you can before showering and bathing, and then going to sleep at a reasonable time. Like, don't go to bed at like 4 a.m. just because you can. Go to bed maybe before midnight. Try to sleep at least 8 hours or so, and then get up and do it again. So yeah, having a daily routine, I think, is the most helpful. And you must change out of your pajamas. I can't emphasize that enough. It is very important that you sleep in pajamas and spend your day in day clothes. And this next one is from Danny Totten. What foods does America have that Japan doesn't, and do you miss any? I miss so many. Actually, what I talked about before, the 100 things I miss about the US video that I'm working on, most of it is food. All right, let me give you a few, okay? I don't want to reveal too many because I don't want to spoil the video I'm working on, but bacon. I miss bacon. It's not the same here in Japan. It's basically like different pieces of ham. I miss crispy, greasy bacon. I also miss flaming hot Cheetos. So badly. I miss it so much. I also miss Chinese takeout. So different here. Oh my God. I would kill somebody for some chicken and broccoli, General Tso's chicken, barbecue spare ribs. I also miss mall pretzels, like Wetzel's Pretzels and Auntie Anne's. Those like soft, hot pretzels, both the savory and the sweet kind. Okay, no more. There's a lot more, but not gonna say any more, even though I really want to. And this next one is from Adobo Ranger. What are your ways to distract yourself from the craziness of the world right now? I mean, I think my distractions are the same as everyone else's distractions. Movies, TV shows, video games, puzzles. It's also really nice talking to friends like via Zoom and stuff like that. And my husband and I play a lot of board games, which is a good way to kind of take you out of this world. Oh, you know what? Play D&D if you can with your friends via Zoom or whatever, because my husband's been running a Star Wars D&D campaign for just me, and it's been the best. Seriously, the best distraction ever. This one is from Kittens585. How's your garden doing? It died because it rained too much for like over 2 months, and now all of our tomatoes are split open. Next up is from Superboy AJ. What do you recommend people do when they go visit a shrine in Japan? So there's actually a lot you should do when visiting a shrine, so I have a whole video on it right here that goes through it step by step. But my biggest suggestions would be to bow before entering the torii gates, and to always walk and do not run or rush through a shrine, and also to walk either on the left or right side and do not walk directly down the middle of a pathway. A lot of people do it anyway, and it's not that big of a deal, but we do believe that that's where the gods are passing, so you want to leave that area open. This next one is from Foo2099. Any activities you miss doing in the US since you moved to Japan? You know. Puff, puff, pass. Sly Kersley asks, when traveling starts again, would you like to visit any other Asian countries? Yeah, I want to visit a lot of them. I want to visit Taiwan, Thailand, and Singapore. Yeah, I really want to go to all three of those. And this next question is from Kendra Gon. What's the funniest thing Peanut and Ume have ever done? So I don't know if I'd consider my cats to be funny as opposed to just weird and cute, but I guess Peanut's meow is kind of funny. She doesn't have a very pretty meow. She sounds like a duck. She actually sounds like she's quacking a lot, like wah, wah, like that. And Ume has a really strange habit of eating the tip of her tail. Not like her actual tail, but she'll eat all the fur around it. So there's just this like weird little nub where her tailbone is. It's so weird, but I think it's pretty funny. She also likes to scream as loudly as possible when she wants to play while holding her favorite ball in her mouth. So it sounds really crazy. It sounds like, maybe that's not funny. It's just weird. And this next one is from IB Servin. Do people ever confuse your nationality or ethnicity in Japan? Yeah, like literally all the time, every day they do. It's probably because of my dyed hair, but I also think it's probably because of the way I do my makeup. I guess it's very Western. And people especially confuse me when I'm walking around with Mike. And this next one is from T. Chosi. I'm sorry. What did you have planned out for the year 2020? Okay, this is very triggering because I meticulously planned out this year so perfectly, only to have everything canceled and destroyed. So I had a lot of shoots lined up in the US actually, and they were all so perfectly sequenced and timed. And I also had all of like my flights planned out where I would work for the first couple weeks and then I'd hang out for a week and then I'd come back to Japan. And the timings were all perfect. Like I had plans to go in March, and then I had some work to do in April/May, and then I had some work after the Olympics, so like probably around August or so. And then I was planning to go back for Thanksgiving. Like it was perfect, and they're all canceled or postponed for now. So very upsetting. And Galaxy Queen Cosplay asks, do you plan on cosplaying again in the future? Are you hoping to be guest at cons in the future? Let's see. I'm a little exhausted from conventions, but I still think I want to go one more time, maybe two more times, and then close the books on that chapter. And if I do go to those conventions, I'm 100% going to cosplay, especially if I get to cosplay with my friends. I really, really miss doing that. It's like my favorite pastime. So hopefully next year, if we can travel again and there's like a vaccine or whatever and it's okay to cram like 1 million people into one building, then yeah, hopefully next year I'll be doing both of those things. And this one is from Grim Storyteller. What's one weird thing in anime that's actually true for Japan? Like, are love confessions real? Yeah, love confessions are 100% a real thing. They're called kokaku. And I don't really understand them because, like, you know, I grew up in the US and I think they're like really embarrassing and strange. But yeah, there's like a formal way to confess your love to somebody, and you like ask them to like an empty area and you say like, I like you, please go out with me. And there's a lot of pressure in that, I think, on both sides. But yeah, love confessions are real, man. What else is weird in Japan that happens in anime? Lap pillows are real and weird. And this next one is from Sean Michael. How was the process of getting a long-term visa in Japan for you and your husband? Okay, so first things first, I am a Japanese national, so I am a citizen. I don't have to get a visa or anything like that. I was actually an American permanent resident with a green card, so me and my husband's situation is actually exactly flipped. And the process for my husband was very long and grueling, but because his spouse is a national, I feel like we had it a little bit easier than others. I really don't suggest coming to Japan unless you have a job here that can vouch for your visa, or unless you're married to a Japanese national as well. There is so much paperwork. There's so many documents you have to read and transcribe. And the weirdest thing I think that we had to do was we had to write this whole essay about how we met, and it's to validate the fact that it's not like a green card marriage. And Mike and I grew up together, and we went to the same middle school, high school, college. We lived together in college, and we've been living together ever since then. So we had to recount everything to prove that we both had the same answers. It was intense. And this next one is from Super Runway, Gochi Gang Season 2. Oh, that was one of the things that I was supposed to shoot this year, but hopefully next year. This next one is from Granta153. Hey Reina, I was wondering what your top 3 favorite Ghibli movies are. Okay, so my favorite hands down is Princess Mononoke. And then I think my next favorite is Mimi o Sumaseba, which is Whisper of the Heart. But is that not a real Ghibli movie? Is that just like a Miyazaki movie? In case that's not really a Ghibli movie, it would probably have to be Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi, so Spirited Away, but not sure. I also really love Kiki's Delivery Service. Man, this is hard. And moving on, this one is from Jupiter1K97. How many more Pikachu items have you purchased since we last saw your collection? I haven't gone shopping in a very long time, but I wonder when's the last time I showed you my collection. I actually don't even remember. Maybe it was when I was still in the US. I feel like I haven't acquired that many more Pikachus. This is like pretty standard, but yeah, maybe I'll make a video about that as well. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a video that shows literally every Pikachu item I own. Next is from Lexia Sanchez 98. How did you get your cat family? Were they adoptions, presents? Oh, okay, so Peanut's story is pretty cool. We got her when we were at Rutgers living together, my husband and I, and we went out to, I don't know, go get like a fat sandwich or something, and when we were walking back, we saw this like tiny cute cat with these like big eyes and this like weird broken tail, and she followed us like all the way down the street, and it was like a pretty long street. And then when we went to go cross the street, she stopped there. So we were like, oh, okay, bye kitty, like you're so cute. And then a couple hours later, it was very clear that we both couldn't stop thinking about it because we're like, yeah, let's go out again. Like, I need to go get something. So we both went out and she was there again and she followed us again. So we snatched her up. And then she's been with us forever since then. So she went from New Jersey to Los Angeles all the way to Japan. And Ume was a rescue. We got her right after we graduated college and we were in an apartment together. We wanted another cat. And she was so playful and cute, so we had to have her. We adopted her. And then, unfortunately, she really didn't get along with Peanut, but my mom and my stepdad at the time really wanted a cat as well. So after we realized that they didn't get along, we gave her to my mom and stepdad, and she was with them for a lot of years. And then after, unfortunately, my stepdad passed away and my mom moved back to Japan, we brought her to LA with us, and now we brought her to Japan. And this next one is from Maddie Mills 66. How much do you miss Super Panic Frenzy? Was Prob my favorite gaming channel? Oh, thank you. Me too, obviously. I miss it so much all the time. Actually, it's weird. I was just talking to Suptic earlier today, so. And this next question is from Instaspreet. Who's your favorite Detective Conan character, and do you think Conan will ever fix his shrinkage? I don't think Conan will ever fix his shrinkage. I also never imagined that the series would be going on for more than 20 years. I grew up with Conan, so this is very bizarre that he's still the same age. My favorite character is without a doubt Haibara Ai. She is my favorite. I love her so much. I always loved her. She's so amazing and she's so smart, and I just want her to be happy. Pretty Person in Peril asks, do you lotion your feet? And this one is from James Douglas McDonald. Hi Reina, wanted to know, how is the dating scene in Japan, and as a foreigner, do we have a chance? Okay, so I don't know anything about dating anywhere because I've never dated. But I know that Tinder exists in Japan because it gets advertised to me all the time. And also, I don't know why you wouldn't think you have a chance. Japan loves foreigners. And this one is from Diaz55331. Would you ever do a me and my place type photo shoot? I don't know. If I were in LA, I would definitely be interested in it. I actually really like sexy photo shoots, and I haven't done one since my Reina Senpai poster so many years ago. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do one here in Japan, I don't think. But I think I'm interested. I think I'd want to do it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too ripe. OnlyFans, no. OnlyFans, no. This one is from Is That Matt Lackus? What has been the biggest surprise for you during COVID-19? The biggest surprise has to be how many people do not want to wear masks, and I guess also the fact that it's been lasting this long. I was really naive and ignorant, and I really thought that, like the flu, it would be better by the summer, but that is proving wrong because now we have more cases than ever. And this one is from Fragiana. What's your favorite food from Japanese McDonald's? Oh my God, Japanese McDonald's is so good. Right now they have spicy chicken nuggets. It's only available for a limited time, but it's so good, and it goes so well with the barbecue sauce. Oh! And then from their permanent menu, I really love their McChicken that's doused in teriyaki sauce. It's so good and so fatty. What else do I love? I also like their shrimp burger, but I try not to eat a lot of shrimp around Mike because he's allergic, and I feel like that's so mean. Obviously their french fries, but their french fries are good anywhere, so I feel like that's not like a Japanese specific item. But yeah, man, fuck, now I'm so hungry. I think I have to go eat now because now I've been shooting for, wow, well over an hour, and I got through a lot of your questions, so I think I'm gonna call it. So thank you so much for watching and for sending me all those awesome questions. I loved answering them. I know I mentioned it earlier, but July has been such a huge bummer for me, but talking to you guys and answering your questions really put me in such a good mood, so I can't thank you enough. I really hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will otherwise see you in my next video. Thanks again, and sonja mata ne! There's so much sunlight coming through my windows now. It's like blinding me. Ah! What the fuck? Holy crap, I have not been clapping to sync. What do I do? Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Oh, fuck, I don't have good advice. And because we wanted very upsetting. No, I don't know what to say. Consider,